Welcome to part 2 of my one-wide tileable auto crafter series. In the last video, I went over iron farms and how to handle the one-wide tileable auto crafters for every single item that you could get from an item farm's output. This video, I'm going to bring you the same exact information for bamboo farms. Now, in my hardcore world, I have a moss farm that automatically makes moss blocks, which then get turned into bone meal, which then bone meals bamboo. And I have that in my spawn chunks, and it fuels my bamboo farm indefinitely. So rather than just storing that bamboo, I have designed this farm, which is going to run the bamboo from left to right, creating every possible item from wood. Well, every bamboo and generic wood item, that is. So I'm here in the world download now. As you can see, it has been updated, and so will the link in the description be. And we have added a button to go to the bamboo auto crafters. So over here, you'll see what I actually have in my hardcore world. So the bamboo comes into this first hopper, and this can come from any style bamboo farm, as long as it's not producing more than the speed of hoppers. First thing it's going to do is come down here and just fill up 3 shulker boxes of raw bamboo, so that if you need to make something on a whim before this is finished, you can have your access to your bamboo. Then the first thing it's going to auto craft is blocks of bamboo and sticks, which take the exact same configuration for auto crafters. So then next up, we have another slice, which is going to be utilizing 2 auto crafters to make planks or ladders. So as you can see here, I kind of have some color coding going on. We've got green for the green bamboo items, brown for the generic wood items, and yellow for the bamboo plank items. Then we get to the big section. This one can make stairs, slabs, pressure plates, doors, trapdoors, boats, crafting tables, chests, and bowls. Then buttons are by itself, even though it's still 3 auto crafters. They have different timings to make a full box of buttons. Then we go up to 4 auto crafters for Mosaic and Composters. Then we go up to 5 auto crafters to make Mosaic stairs and Mosaic slabs. Then we get to a really complicated one, which has to make the bamboo into planks and then make that planks into sticks or slabs, and then combine that back with the planks to make yourself stuff like fences, signs, fence gates, barrels, and even chiseled bookshelves. Then we get one that is truly a lot, where it has to make a boat and a chest and then combine those together to make a bamboo raft with chest. Now, at first, this might seem overwhelming, but I'm going to walk you through it from easiest to most difficult, and hopefully you'll be able to follow along the way. So the first auto crafter takes bamboo and turns it into blocks and sticks. So let's see how this goes. It starts at the top, and it works its way down into the auto crafter. This auto crafter can be pre-filled if it's backed up. So to see this one run, we need this hopper to be empty. Let me just take out a stack from there. So what you can see is happening whenever this comparator turns off, the torch powers the piston and just triggers a clock to run a few times. And that forces it to make a few bamboo blocks. And then once those flow down in, it turns back off, and then that's going to repeat until something stays in that hopper. Next up is bamboo being turned into planks and sticks. So the bamboo starts at the top and works its way down into here, filling up the crafter exactly the same. And then also going into here is a single slot mapped to turn these into planks. So you'll see this works exactly the same. There's just an extra observer to send a signal to both of those to craft. All right, so the next slice here is the one that handles all these different kinds of items. So the bamboo is going to start up top, and it's going to come down into here to the first crafter, which is going to make the bamboo blocks. That's going to put it directly into here to make planks. And then this is going to go in here to make stairs or any of the other shapes needed for these crafting materials. Again, we have a comparator here that's checking for this to be full. So if we throw that out and just a bit of that out, it's going to turn on and we can see it running. So that signal goes up here and powers this torch, which pushes this out. It also sends the signal here to stop powering here. So that lets items flow down and into the crafter. When the piston gets pushed out, that starts a redstone clock, which is going to be firing both of these crafters repeatedly, extremely fast. So as soon as it's able to craft, it will. Then that's going to go down into here, 2 at a time, and craft whatever it needs. This lights up as soon as it hits 9. This is just a standard one-wide tileable auto crafter mechanism that I've made with a block here, a copper bulb block, to make sure it only pulses once. Next up is another one that has 3 auto crafters, but this time it's making buttons. We have to have buttons because they come at a different speed. So when you go up to the top here, bamboo comes down, you get the same 2 auto crafters, and then here we get buttons as well. So what's happening here is when this drains out, it sends a signal and turns on this larger clock, which is sending a signal to here and here and here at different intervals. We need to make sure that the buttons get 2 pulses for every pulse that the planks get. So that way we can actually craft them at the same rate and we don't end up with extras. Next up, we have bamboo crafting into mosaic and composters. This is going to be the first with 4 crafters. The bamboo starts at the top and makes its way into the same one, being turned into blocks, then into planks. Then those planks are turned into slabs, and then those slabs can either go in here or it could also be put into a composter's configuration. Like always, it checks this hopper for items, and if we take those out, it's going to turn on. The comparators turn off, which power this torch, which pushes the piston and starts a clock which is repeatedly firing this crafter. Then we have a signal here that is being pulled from this crafter, and when it is over 9, meaning it's turning on, this will come in and that'll send a signal into this block, which will power that crafter. It doesn't matter if this crafter gets powered extra. Then simultaneously, the torch tower goes up and pushes this piston, which turns on a clock up here, which just continually fires these 2 crafters. I put some bamboo in it because it was missing it. So now you can see when it crafts it, it comes through. It immediately creates the slabs, which go into there. The 6 slabs go into here. And because this gets pulsed a lot, as soon as it comes in, it'll make all 3 of those. And then it shuts off for a split second while it lets for those to go through the hopper. So now we have bamboo for mosaic stairs and mosaic slabs. Bamboo's going to start at the top like always, and then it's going to go first through to crafter to make bamboo into blocks, and then into planks, and then into slabs, and then mosaic, which is exactly the same as we had last time, except now we have an extra crafter to make those mosaic into stairs. The only difference between this one and that one is that it's raised up an extra block to make it fit this crafter here. So this observer is pointing into this crafter and powering this crafter at the same time, rather than pointing into a dropper here and powering that crafter at the same time. So you can see here, it should look identical, except 1 block higher. Next up is the really interesting section that can combine multiple items. So it can turn bamboo into fences, fence gates, signs, barrels, chiseled. And something I don't have represented on this wall because I didn't do it in my hardcore world is it can make wooden tools if you wanted. So this one's pretty complex, but you can come up here and see that it's going to take the bamboo in and put those first into a normal crafter to make blocks, which will go to planks. And then first it'll come down here and put planks directly into the crafter. And then once that fills up these hoppers, it'll start going over into this crafter to make sticks. And then those sticks will come back down and go into this crafter as well. You got to make sure you have your first slot here for sticks, and then it'll be able to power both of those. As with all of them, it detects when it's full and turns off. So we just got to clear those out. And you can see here, I have a hopper clock that is pulsing a big long row of copper bulbs. The copper bulbs form a chain that when the chain is complete, it'll send a pulse very infrequently to craft this. So this is very slow to craft because it has to make sure the bamboo can come in at the right rate and fill in all the other wood items so we don't lose this stack of sticks and things like that. So let's follow this up from here. The torches go all the way to the top and are powering a piston, which turns on a clock. So when that is empty, it's going to be firing these same 2 on the same kind of clock we've had for all of these. When there is items that make their way into this dropper, all right, I added some bamboo, and now you can see when items make their way into this dropper, it's going to send a signal, which is going to go down and over and push this piston down. So that means that when there is items in there, that means the hoppers below are full enough to allow it to craft. So what's going to happen is if that is retracted, but they're still not full, it's going to keep these clocks going until it fills up all these hoppers. So each time it crafts, quite a few bamboo planks go out of here because it needs to fill up these 4 slots. But then also when it's checking for these sticks, when they empty, this comparator is pulling out of there, which is going to send a signal to power the dropper for this crafter, and that's going to make it bulk craft a few sticks. Makes about 8 at a time, meaning it's getting 2 signals to this crafter and pulsing it twice. So lastly, we have bamboo to bamboo raft with chest. This is going to start at the top, and it's going to make bamboo into planks, which is going to come down and split sideways to make chests and rafts, and then those are going to combine together to make a raft with chest. And then that's going to come down into here. And what we can see is that if we clear this out, the farm will kick on once this hopper is empty, and that'll send a signal up all the way to here to allow this clock to start moving. When the clock starts going, then we will be getting planks into this dropper here. The dropper is actually also being powered by the observer, sending items over into this hopper. So what's happening over on this hopper is just your standard 1-wide tileable checker. For when this has all 9 slots full, it will craft. That chest will move down, but first, the items from this dropper are also being pulled downwards into this hopper to go down and make a boat. So then that will move down, and they'll both meet together in here, crafted 1 at a time. Oh, I forgot to state that this checker for when this is full actually powers the dropper, which powers both the chest and the boat. So it always is a 1-for-1 craft. And that way they both show up in here together when those craft. And this has another 1-wide tileable. This one doesn't have the copper bulb because it doesn't need the protection of a single tick. And then it's going to go down and over and fill up. So I hope you like my explanations. If I wasn't good enough and you want to take a look for it yourself, or if you want to make a schematic of it, the world download of this is going to be in the description. Take a look and let me know what you think. I have streamlined my video making process a little bit, which is why you can see this one came like a week after the first part of this, and I hope to keep this cadence up for a while, though I do have some other offline projects I need to do which might interrupt my recording coming soon. But I hope to get out all my videos at a much faster pace about these autocrafters because I really am enjoying making them, and the videos are great, the autocrafters are great. It really tickles my brain the right way. But thank you everybody for watching. Make sure you subscribe if you're new here, and thank you to all of my members and subscribers on other platforms. I couldn't do this without you. Speaking of, we just hit the tier 1 Twitch Partner Plus goal, which is huge for me. If you're not familiar with it, it's an incentive Twitch got to get a higher revenue split. I'm extremely happy that my community has been able to hit that, and I want to thank you guys all so much. But you can expect the next video from this series in about 1 or 2 weeks, and I'd like to see in the comments you guess which farm I'm going to do. All right, peace out.